So my PPT screen is showing all of you.
Yes, Dr. Sabir, it's clear.
Yes.
Oh, okay, good. So we were dealing in our last graphic session that how R can adjust every point of your graphics. It can adjust your x-axis, your y-axis, your legends, your backgrounds. It can deals all these things, but all these things are controlled with the R commands. These are very short commands, and today we will see in direct, I will take you in our softwares how we can adjust all of these in ours and we can make our graph more beautiful for our papers and our thesis presentations. So we will do that how we can adjust x-axis, y-axis and y limits and how graphs are built in layers by layers. So we will see it in our R script. So these are the different component of graphics, and we will at the end we will see that's how R can combine different graphics into ones. So we'll see that we will at the end. So we will see that how we can make this line graph. We can combine two parameter peroxides and superox. 1 minute. That's clean. Graph is showing on your screen.
No, sir.
Okay. No, graph is showing on your screen. Anyone seeing graph on your screen?
No,
No,
sir.
Dr. Sab.
No,
No, the
sir.
screen is black.
Okay. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now graph is showing on your screen. Okay. Today we will make this bar graph, how we can build this graph. This graph contain two parameters, peroxide and superoxide. And this has four factors graphs in which we have composed one axis. You can see that in one axis, compose, control, hydropriming, and protection. These are the treatments, soil, seed, and soil treatments on x-axis. And in fill in legends, you can see the varieties. And on the tops, we have separated 2018 data and 2019. So this is the set of data. That's the graph we are going to make in our software. So you understand these graphs and all. I have provided you the notes. And you can make correlations, line graph, but the means things axis facet and estimate, all these are the same for different graphics. So if you understand this graph, you can also practice with your data and different types of graph you can make, but all these graph have same component, x-axis, y-axis, legends and facet. I showed you 2018 and 2019 we have adjusted through facet functions. So these are the main thing, x-axis, y-axis, and these facet thing. So these are the main things. So can anybody repeat main types of graphs? So we will move toward the R softwares. What one graph contains things. So somebody said, Adil Hussain Shah can say, sir, can you please repeat what
Yes.
graph has main components?
X-axis,
Yes,
Y-axis, legends, and facets.
yes, facet. Okay. And any other one? Mohit Ali, can you please discuss the type parts of graphs? What the main components of graph contains?
Yes, we have the
Mohit
main
Ali, please can you
components.
please?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, we have the main components, the y-axis and the x-axis and the y-axis, and then the legends, the
Okay.
background themes. So those are the main components.
Okay. Okay, yeah, that's the main. And then if we if you have three factors, one factor will be on y-axis, other factors will be in field and as a legends, and third you can show in your graph as a face. So three things are the importance. First x-axis, and then the fill commands, and third is the facet. No, okay. So these are the main component of graph. So all graph have these components, line graph, correlation, and other graphs. All these have basic component of graphs. Now we will see in ours how we can make this graph in our software. So you can practice it with your data also. Okay. Now my R screen displaying on your screen, our softwares.
No, sir.
Okay. It will display shortly. Maybe MS Team is sometimes heavy software, so it takes minutes, but you tell me when this sometimes it becomes heavy. My R screen is showing on yours. It's showing you.
No, sir.
Not yet, doctor.
Okay. 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 Hmm. It's taking some time to do.
I can wash your laptop with detergent.
Yes. The navigation is okay, but no. MS Team is sometimes slow.
Yes, yes, just let know.
Okay. It's a graph. It's an R softwares will show. We will proceed on in the R softwares. So it's taking some time. Our software is displaying on your system or not?
Not, sir.
Okay. Okay, no, it's showing, I think.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, all of you, it's showing, our software is showing on your screen.
Yes, it's showing now.
Yeah. So, you have cleared these things, and so you can now make a working directory in our software. First of all, we have to set working directory. That's our basic course. So my data is present in that. And next step, you are also clear. That's I import a CSV file, and that is a study underscore 4 in my system. So that's it. This step you are also familiar with now with this step. So now you can see in window 2 that's R has imported this file. And the next step is the structure of data. So you can see the structure of data. This step is also clear, all of you. That's you can see that's it's showing GRs is integers, statement is characters and variety also characters, replication and integer. So we have to first convert all these things into factors. So that's why our data becomes smooth, divided into dependent and independent variables. So that's I run that command to convert. Okay, so now this is converted into dependent and independent variables. So you can see that this is the basic step for your graphic, for your statistical analysis. So you have to first adjust your data into dependent and independent, or do not know which are your factors, which are your independent and dependent variables. So you have to define your all your data into two groups, dependent or independent, so that R can proceed its. So all things are clear up to that. The structures, first you have to make working directory, then you have to import your data, then you have to adjust the structure of your data. These are the basic component that you have to do for all statistical and graphical and all data analysis for work. This step is clear, all of you? Anyone have confusion up to that?
Yes, sir. Create.
Yeah, it's clear.
So yeah, that okay, good. So these are the basic steps you have to do for making graph. And then is then what you do when you make a graph from your data? Can anybody tell me what is the next step for graphics? What you do when you
Mean
do an
we will
yes,
calculate
next
means.
step is to means. Yes, you have to calculate means, and then we have to calculate standard deviations. So in R, with a single line command, you can calculate all your means, but it's a difficult in when you calculate mean. For Excels and other softwares, you have to individually calculate all these things. But in ours, aggregate is the functions. That's you have to calculate the means, and then dots. Then is that's approximation sign, treatments plus variety. What are your factors? You have to plus variety plus years. And fun is the next function. Year is the we want to calculate mean. So then you have to data and data underscore Shahzad. That is the my data set that I have made. I have imported the files that. So that is the command for calculation of mean. If you place the dot, aggregate, brackets and dot. So in this way, you can calculate the means of all your parameters. I will show you that so you can see or will calculate the means of. Its window is window 3, you can see that 1 minute sometimes something is slow. You can see that the RS calculates the means of all your parameters with this command. So with this aggregate functions and fun, you can calculate the means of all your parameters with the single line commands of all parameters of your data. So window 3 is showing I have window 3 is full
No,
mode.
sir. No, sir.
So it display.
No,
Okay.
sir.
Okay. Something is slow.
It's a blur due to low internet.
So please tell. Okay. So you please tell me when you have some this screen problem. So we will move slowly with that. Okay, now you can see that on your screen that I have expanded the window 3. So you can see that RS
Not
calculates the
displaying yet.
mean.
Yes, it's sure.
Yes, it's okay. Yeah, you can see that R has calculated the treatment variety years mean of all our parameters. So in this way, you can see that you can calculate the means of all your parameters for graphics. So this is our next step. First we have import our data, then we have structure adjustment, then the third step is calculations of mean of our parameters. So this is the third step in graphics. So R can do for you, that means through that aggregate functions.
Sir,
So now
this
you
one
can see that.
treatment. So this is a treatment year and replication. We have to write the dependent variables.
Yes, yeah,
Independent.
these are the independent variables, treatment variety years. So you have to write first all what are your independent variables. So we want to make graphic like this, treatment
And
variety
then,
and years.
sir,
Yes,
this
yes.
command aggregate. Then you commanded another code.
Yes, that's in fun, that's a means. If you want to calculate, then you have to write here's 1 minute and then I showing the commands again you. 1 minute, window 1 is I have opened again window 1. Okay, now you can see that in window 1. So aggregates and bracket started, then dot. If you want to calculate the means of all parameters, you will write dot. If you want to calculate the mean of any individual's parameters, then you will write the name of that parameters instead of dot. So if you will write dot, R will calculate the means of all your parameters present in your data. If you want to calculate the mean of single parameters, you will write down the name of that parameters. So R will calculates. Then is the fun. Fun where you want to calculate means, then R will calculate mean. If you want to calculate as a standard deviation, then you will write SD. That's in the second line commands. You can see below the means. If we want to calculate standard deviation, we will write SED. If we want to calculate mean, then we will write mean fun is equal to and brackets in brackets mean. So R will calculate mean and standard deviation. So your graph will make with this mean. It will show the means and then will show the standard deviations. So anybody confusion with these commands, mean and standard deviation calculations? So he can ask it.
Sir, by after giving this command, we have to write the structure like that. We can display
No,
the means in third window.
yeah, Yes, in third video, yes, it's a clear. So no, it's a just I am showing you no or no. That's what are our means and what are our standard deviations. Through R has calculated this and R is now okay to proceed with the graphics. So these after making calculating mean and standard deviations, now we can move further for making graph in R. So this is the basic step in graphics. So first you have to calculate mean and standard deviation, and now you can see that in R it's very easy. With a single line command, you can calculate mean and standard deviation. But in other Excel and people take days for calculation of means of individual parameters. So it's take a lot of times. So, but in ours, that's easy. I will show you one Excel sheet of PhD student. He has, I discussed in earlier lectures that he had 34 Excel sheet and he calculated means of every parameters individually. And that's a chances of errors become high. And that's a very, very time taking process. But it ours, it's a simply with this command, you can calculate mean and standard deviations of your data. So that's a first step. I will do graphic in three parts. As you can see in my windows where I files, I made graph one file, graph two file, graph three files. I discussed that. So you do in small things, small files, one three files. I have made three files of graphics. So you revise the previous lessons that we have to do in steps. So if we write all commands in one window or in one file, it will become a large file and chances of error can become high. So this is our first graphs. And then is the I show you how can you rearrange the levels. So you can see that levels of treatment I show. I can data underscore Shahzad, and then now you can see that it's showing on your video. That's how levels of treatments are showing in graph. This is displaying on your screen. Levels
Okay.
treatments level. It's all showing that compost first, control second, and hydropriming third, and potassium nitrate on the fourth place. So what should be the arrangements of treatments on our graph? What should be you think? How these things should be displayed on our graph?
It is not displaying.
First of all, okay, okay, okay. Now you can see that the R is showing that built-in arrangement composed, then it's showing controls, and then hydropriming and potassium nitrates. My question is that how we should present our these treatment levels on our graph. What should be the arrangement? What do you think? What should be the first thing should be present? Yes, Mohit Ali, can you please tell us what would be the first thing
The first thing we should
in
start
our graph?
with the axis, the x-axis and the y-axis. So those are the first.
No, 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 no. That's levels. It's showing on your screen level, compose, control, hydropriming, and potassium nitrate. What should be the things should become? Control should be on first or compose should be first on graph.
I cannot see the screen, sir. It's like it is not
Okay.
clear.
Okay.
Sir, screen is
Okay.
not
Good.
displaying.
Okay. Right. Screen is something. No. Now you can see the screen.
Yes, it's
Oh,
also
it's
clear.
Yes.
yes. Okay. You now you are seeing that I have that's how R show the levels of treatments, and these are level actual level R that's show alphabetically. So you are seeing that are showing me the levels first composed, then control, Then third one is the hydroprimings, and fourth one is the potassium nitrate. So my question is that what out of these should become first, control or compost? What first thing should be present on graph, control
Control,
or compost?
control.
Yes, first thing should be present on graph our control. So we have to rearrange this treatment levels of treatment. So we can adjust these things here. So Mohit Ali, this point clear to you?
Yes, now it's clear.
Okay, yeah, that's R show alphabetically things, but some
So
we
we'll
do we
we
need
start
a
with the control.
specific yeah, we should start with the control so people can see that's what our control and other treatments, how other treatments are behaving like that. So we have to rearrange them. So that's we should start with the control. That's a good part. Okay. Okay. So this is the this is the commands I discussed earlier with when we were dealing with data analysis. So you can see that's that is the our data underscore Shazad. That's our data file. Okay. That command is showing on your screen 52 lines. In 52 lines, you can see that there's a data underscore Shazad underscore 4. That is our data files, and we want rearrangements in treatment column. So that's we have to write downs and we have to dollar sign with the commands and then factors data underscore 4 and then treatments and then levels and data commands arrange. Then in the last, so you can see that 1 minute it should be display on. Okay. Now you can see that control is showing on which place control is showing, which levels control is showing. 1, 2, 3, and
Second
4.
position.
Control in
First,
two.
first, first.
Now
Okay,
it's in
so
the first.
control, yeah, it's control is at
Now
two
control
place.
is at first.
So we have to write that the two should be come first, and then we write that the hydropriming should be present. Then is the first compost, and for one is the potassium nitrate. So this we can rearrange our treatments display on our graph. So by this command you can do that. So we can rearrange our treatments levels what arrangements we want. If our control is coming on 2 and third place, we can move it to our first position. So by these commands you can move it to that. So and so we will run this command. Okay, so we will run these commands. So now our first part of graph is complete. Uh, so what we did here, can somebody repeats in one part of the graphs, but what things we have to?
We
Can
have to
anybody
arrange the
repeat?
we have to
Okay.
arrange the levels.
From,
First one is
first,
control. That
okay, from beginnings, what we have did. From the beginnings, what we have do in first part of our graphs, what we have do from start. Mohit Ali, can you please repeat from start what first part of the graph,
Okay.
what, okay, yeah, what
Okay.
things we did.
At the first, we calculate the mean and the standard deviation, or if you want to calculate, for example, the standard error or the
Okay,
standard deviation, it depends on what you want to calculate. After
okay,
that, we rearrange the level of the data. We start with the control first because you want to show that our observations with is comparison with the control. So we put the control first.
Okay, good. So that's the first part of the graphs. And that's Mohit Ali discuss with you. That's first we have to, I start again. That first we have make working directory, then we have import our files, then we do structure. We correct our structure of our data dependent and independent variables. Then we calculate the means, and then we calculated the standard deviations. And the last thing I discussed that we can save all our working as a session this, so we can save with the save commands as discussed earlier. So I am going to save all my this working now. So save, so I have saved all my workings here. So it's a save. Now we are moving towards the other part of the graph. So this have to do all you have to do for graphic this part of the okay. Okay. So second part of the graphs. So now we are moving toward the second part of the graphs. So these are the, I will share all these built-in commands. So you just have to understand that what R has to do. So how can you make this, and you will practice it and then you will get confidence. But you at this level, you have to understand this, how we can adjust and do your make your graph parts better and present it more beautiful way. Then is the axis way. Now we are going to adjust our graph axis and legend adjustment. We will do that, and colors and different stuff. We will do all these things. We will fix all these things. So we are making file. We are make one file where we do basic work of our graph, and in second part of the graphs, we are now going to adjust our axis. Here is the function is the theme. You can see that s dot theme one. This is name you can give is equal to from this signs you can give any name. I am going to this sign s dot theme one. So this is the theme functions. In theme function you can adjust all your x-axis. You can adjust axis text. You can adjust axis title, and likewise you can adjust the y-axis titles, and you can access y-axis title, and you can also adjust the legend text size, what your legend text size should be displayed. So by theme function you can adjust all your x-axis, y-axis, and legend texts, and also there are titles. You can adjust what you want title size. You can adjust with the theme commands. So this is a show, I show graph parts. Those so x-axis text you want 11 size, 12 size, and what you want your university wants, and your x-axis and y-axis text size. What should be that? So look at the demand of journal or demand of university. You can adjust your all texts with that. So you understand what is the mean the theme. So what we have, we are going to make with the themes. So what theme do? Anybody can tell me, please? What I did
Okay.
and what I said.
We use theme for the
Yes,
adjustment
we will.
of the x-axis and the y-axis. So we could adjust their titles and their size with the function theme.
Yes.
And the legends also.
Yeah, but with the yes, Legion also. With the theme functions, we can adjust all our text size. So I said that the all graphic parts are under your controls. How you want to modify that, and how you want to present your graphics. So all things are under control. So we are discussing these things, how we can adjust axis, x-axis, y-axis, and legend text size with the theme function. So you can do that this with this theme commands. And this was the sizes of legend sizes, x-axis, y-axis title. Now we are going to adjust the legends. So s.theme2, this is a second file I am going to make. So you can make one file with the theme, and you can add all these things. But it's I recommend that make small files, small commands, and that so you can make it's easy. So in second, theme. This is also same theme functions, and I am making other file s dot theme two x-axis dot tick and length. What you size of legend should be? What your size? That's first we adjusted its text, but what size? 0.4 centimeters. What you want? That's your legend size. What should be your legend size and your key width? You can adjust length and width of your legends. What should be length and width of your legends? And you can also adjust its height and legend positions. You can also tell that what your left side, right side, top, bottom, where your legend should be present. So you can adjust your legend position with this command. So you can adjust then legend's length, legend width, legend height, and legend position with this. You can also plot margins, what should plot should be of that graphic should be, and panel grids, and that should be grids on showing on your graphics what should be grids should be present, but that small boxes we say them grids. So how you can adjust this? That's how you can adjust your y-axis in theme s dot theme one. I make this file, and s dot theme two. I make this file to adjust the legends length, legends height, width, legend height, legend positions, plot margins, lines, panel dot grids. So you can change it when I give you, so you can make your graphic with different things. So you can practice with this. So I have made two files up to that s dot theme with the access text adjustment and then the legend adjustment. Then I am moving to that. Then is the so you all of you clears that's legends and accesses adjustment, text adjustment. So any confusion in that? Said Adil Sanjay, can you please repeat what I said for the graphic components I did discuss?
Yes, sir. Theme function is used for the adjustment of x and y-axis and also for legend adjustment. We can adjust text size and
Oh,
legends.
okay. Dr. Fahim, can you please repeat what are the graphic parts? Dr. Fahim, you are listening to me?
Yes, sir. Basically, yes, sir, definitely. Am I audible?
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
Theme is basically used in website development, from where we can display our website. So in this, we want to display our graphics. In graphics, what should be on x-axis, what should be on y-axis, what should be the color, the size, and that's why the complete package is known as theme. And we will develop a theme to display our graphs.
Okay, yeah, that's good, right. So we can discuss, we can control our graphic basically. We can be how our text should be display, how our legends should be display, what should be their sizes, what should there be height, length, widths, and all things are under your controls. Then the third main component is that's y-axis bars. On y-axis, what should be appears, what should be right spelling. So if your y-axis is very important, that is your parameters, measured parameters. So you can see that when we make data file, we do not write complete names in the columns name or a parameters name. We write short name or give the underscore photo underscore synthetic. So we give something like this. My screen is displaying. Next. Tables. Screen is displaying. Next we are. Excuse me, please stop.
I think it's not working.
Please. Okay, sir. Okay. in displaying on your screen?
No, sir.
Full screen instead of. Okay, now it's in display.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, up to that, we have discussed that we can adjust our x-axis, y-axis titles, and x-axis text also. Then the third step in this part of the graph is that we can adjust the label of our graphs, y-axis labels. So when we write data in our Excel file, we write short names. We do not write full name, or sometimes we want to avoid space in our Excel sheet. So we write like that, photo underscore synthetics. So you can see that's a different name as SCL, sodium content in leaf. So I am the short abbreviations in Excel file. So, but in y-axis, we want a full name of our y-axis with the correct units. So it's a mandatory for all thesis and papers that your y-axis should be very clear. Full name of your parameter should be shown on that, and then your correct unit should be shown on that. So these labels commands, you can see that I have write photo underscore synthetic. I do not want, so this should be display on my graph. So on my graph, the correct name must be display on graph. So I can use this function. So here I can write the full name of all my parameters, what name is appearing in my Excel sheet, and what is the correct name of that y-axis with the correct unit. So I have to correct all things here. So like that, you can photo underscore synthetic and is equal to expressions. And then I can write full name photosynthetic rates, then in bracket units, micromole CO2. And if you want to some subscript, you can write into brackets. Screen is again slow. Okay. Okay, 1%, please. Screen is my screen is displaying on your system.
Not yet.
Okay. Please wait. Okay, now screen is displaying, I think. Screen
Yes,
is
sir.
showing. Okay. So we were discussing that how our parameters, how our y-axis parameter should be appear on our graph with full name and with full units. So you can use these commands. C packet start list, and then you can write the what is the name on your Excel sheet and what you want expression, and then what you want to full name should be appears on your y-axis. So you are correct. You will write here the full name of your y-axis, and then you will write its units. So can anybody repeat this? What y-axis? What's through lab y labels? What we want to do here? Can anybody repeats? Can
Yes,
anybody repeat this? Okay.
yeah, we use the
What is
labs
it?
function
Okay.
for adjustment or for changing the names, the ones that we want to use them, because normally we use short names or names with scores or something
Underscore.
else, underscore or something.
Yes.
So before we display our graph or before we start like our graphs, we should change the names with the names that you want to use them
Okay.
in the final
Yes.
graph.
So you have to. Yeah. So you want to correct the name of y-axis, then you have to correct the units. You have to write down its full units, and you have to write correct names. So these should be appears on your graphs exactly in the good way. So that's this command do. So this is the third part. In first part, we adjusted the x-axis, y-axis text. In the second command, we as a dot theme. So we are making this small file. So we will at the end we will join all this file with our graph. So we have made s dot. Okay. So, someone mic is open, please. Okay. Up to that, we have made three files: s dot theme one files, and then we have made s dot theme two file. This we had made up to that s dot theme one file where we adjusted text. S dot theme is the two. That has I am making these small file, and at the ends I will join with the graph these files. So these are the adjustment I am. This is all that background workings of the graph. So I am adjusting all my these things. Then I will adjust. I will then attach these files with my graph, and all these adjustments that I had made in these files will be show on my graph. So you understand that what I am doing that. So these are three things I have did up to that. So can Mohit Ali repeat you what did up to that? What did I what three files I made up to that point? Can you repeat what three files I have? Yes.
Okay, the first file that we made for the adjustment of the y-axis and the x-axis,
Yes.
and in that file we arranged the levels of the data that we want to show. For example, we normally show the control first.
Okay.
This is the first file, and in the second and the third file, we adjust the names of the y-axis and the x-axis, and then the labs we
Okay.
also use it for correcting the units, the name of the units before we display the final graphs. So those are
Okay.
the three.
Yeah. Yes. So these are the things we have made up to that. So we have theme one, and then theme two. And then we have labels. Yeah. These are the three things. Now is the facet functions. That's very important. This is the four steps we are going to make. When we have three factors data, so we can adjust facet commands. So this first facet command has three levels. So you first labels. These are the labels you want on show on facet. So these are 2018. If you remember the graph at the start in the top facet, you can see the 2018 and A and the second graph B 2019. Here we have to adjust this. This should be what should be our labels on facet. These are the facet are the small strips that's showing on top of the graph in 2018 and 2019, and so you can adjust it. So the in our actual files data file, these are the one and these are the two, these are with this name, but on the graph I want that it should be A in brackets and 2018 and 2019. So my years should be shown in facet, and this title should be shown as a 2018 and 2019. So this should be show on my graphic. This is the first step of the facet. And then is the second is the facet wrap. So what should be, this should be I want that my year should be show on facet. It should have n two columns. It should be present in two columns. You can say in two row or two column, you can adjust what you wish. And labels, as I adjust earlier, that its label should be like that. To A is 2018 and 2019. So this is the second facet. For facet dot rep is the functions, and I want that my year should be shown on facet. Year wise, it should contain two columns and it should be labels as I adjust in first commands. Then is the facet dot strip. This is the and other files I am going to make. In these files, I want that my what should be x-axis element text, what should be text size, and what should be angle. What you want, that's how it should be. It can be show 45 angle. It show can be 360 angles. So strip dot text, and what should be the text in the strips, and what should be strip backgrounds. So you can adjust all facet strips here. What should be strip axis element text size, what should be y-axis strip element, and what should be its background. So this is the facet functions. I again show the graph so you can understand it. So graph will display on your screenshot. Okay, graph is showing on your screen.
Yes, it's displaying.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good. Okay. Now, facet, you can see that the what the labels of facet I wants. You can see that labels I wants that A in bracket 2018 and B 2019. These are the my labels facet. This is the strip. Actually, we name it facets function. So this is the strip in which 2018 and 2019 are showing. So we can adjust what the size of text here, what should be its background. If you want to give yellow background to this strip, you can give, you can you white or green background, you can give. What you want to angle size of this text, you can give its, you can write. And you can write it, this graph is in showing in two columns. So you can, as I write in our software, it should be in two columns. And you can adjust it say into two rows. So you can adjust what you want in columns, in row, what are the background of this strip, what should be the label of this strip. And if you want variety wise, you can also give commands and it will arrange all these facet through variety wise. If you want these treatment wise strip, you or will make a strip for you. So with this is very very important commands. You do not want to make individual graphics for everything, so you have to just make changes in this facet function or will do accordingly. So that's a very very important things. So you must understand that the facet, you just will write that you want these graphic variety wise or will make all these graphic variety wise. If you want this graphic treatment wise, always make your graphic treatment wise. So anybody understand that this is very, very important in graphics parts. And so in Excel and other software, you have to, if your supervisor said, no, I want this graph variety wise. So you have to do all your working again. And if your supervisor said, no, I all this graphic treatment wise, so you have to do all that working again. Sometimes a journal editor or reviewer say you that's your graph will be look great if you make it so variety wise. So it's a lot of working in other softwares and in Excels, but in Facet function through R's, you can just in this command, 2, 3 lines commands, you can adjust what your supervisor wish, what your reviewer wish, what your editor wish. You can adjust and make your graphic accordingly. So with this, you can do all that. Variety wise, treatment wise, year wise, you can do this. Anybody understand this commands? The Facet is very, very important. So anybody can repeat it. What's
So,
it?
sir,
Facets and
if we don't have three factors, we don't use it like usually. So you said that when we have three factors, we use
yes,
it.
you can yeah. Well, you can use it with two factors, but you do not use to fill legends things. So you want to skip one thing. So you do not want legends, but you can use face functions and x-axis things. So you can make this thing also in two-factor graph also you can use it. That's no problem.
Okay, thank you.
So you can use it. Thank you. So anybody can repeat it from Facet. What is the importance of it, Facet, and what's we can use it? That's a very important in graphics. If you understand that, it will make your life easy in graphics. So you must understand that through Facet, what you want to make, how you want to arrange your graphics, in what way your supervisor, editor, reviewer, I said earlier. So you can adjust your graphic. You do not want to make manuals. That's in manuals, you have to take many, many times and do a lot of workings. But in R's, so you just have to give command to that and R will do for you. So in this way, you can make your facet function. So I come again on all the all softwares. And yeah, say Adil Hussain Shah, sir, can you please repeat facet importance? What facet
Yes,
do?
Facet function is used for arranging subsets of the data. If we want it according to year wise, then we can arrange. If we want it according to treatment, we can make. If we want it according to replication, we can make.
Yes, we can advise, we can do that in according to our wish, how our graph look beautiful. So sometimes you want to affect a one thing prominently, so you can adjust with these things. So that's a very important steps in graphics. So it will be then easy for you when you practice with your data. So but you add this basic course, I am feeding all these things in your mind. But R can do that. But this thing will come with practice. When you do a practice, you will many will also comes. Many things will you will make difficulty in running R commands and different words. You know that at the end, when you grab on these commands, when you will get confidence using R's, then your life can make easy. And how what R can do that in this course, I am trying my best. So teach you that's why R is very important, why R is very strong, why we use these softwares as compared to other softwares. It makes your life easy. So you You do not know wish to do. It removes manual working, and you see that in means and standard deviations we calculated just with a one line command. So R can do that. So at this stage, you understand that. But with practice, all things will come to you. So all these commands, I will share this script and all many other things and commands are also available in books, in website, and in different blogs. But you understand that how R is powerful and how R can do that things. So this is the facet functions. In facet, you can adjust labels what you want. So so you first labels, then you can wrap. But you if you want year wise, R will arrange with year wise. If you want treatment wise, R will do for treatment wise. If you want variety wise, R will do for that for you for variety wise. So here you can adjust. You can also adjust columns and numbers, row numbers for you. So R can do that. And then it's the face it that strip. That's here you can adjust its sizes, its background. All things can be adjusted with these three commands. So these are the things. So now last thing is there's colors adjustment. Now that's a very important things you want to display what colors of your graph, what things, what color scheme you want to display on your graph, what colors you like that. Coloring scheme in legends are all your under your controls and you can what you want to make this. So I will many color schemes are in our available. I have also this in my notes how you can manually adjust colors, how you can different commands, themes, a lot of colors and many chapters and books are on coloring in graph. So you can use, but you here you understand how we can adjust the colors in ours. So that's the commands and 12. So this is the color scheme COLR, rainbow colors, Terrence dots colors, and heat dot colors, and COLT top dot. These are different color schemes that's display on your screen. So we can display on your windows. Okay, one. Okay, this maybe not displaying on this time. Okay. Okay, this scheme is showing on your screen. This figure is with different color scheme.
Yes, it's sure.
Okay, so we will use in this graph this color scheme. So you can see that it's a different name. This contains different strips, and this every strip has different names. So you can pick any strip and you can make this graphic. You can adjust this graphic what you want. These are different schemes, but this command is not running. Other commands are not running due to some issue. Okay, so we can use for this graph any color schemes. So I earlier said that R has a lot of different coloring scheme. So you can adjust any one color scheme in our softwares. So any one. So we are using in this example last one BRBG. So this is the platy color blue schemes. So we are taking these strips blue color schemes. So we are using in this. So you can do a lot of things. I have given in my notes, so you can choose other coloring scheme what you want. But in this graph, we are using this last one strip BRBG. So this is the coloring scheme. We move to the R's. Okay. So our software screen is displaying on your system.
Yes, it's sure.
Okay. Okay. And then this is the coloring schemes, and so you can adjust what colors you want to do on your graphics. Then is the little things, and we can write also with the in command POS the 0.9 you are showing, and somebody also text me that this is giving errors in graphics. So this is the bar color bar size. We are making bars. We can adjust the bar width through this command. POS, it's just a name we give, you can give any name here, but through this we can adjust the width of bars. What bar should be up? This is our bar. So we in this commands we can adjust the bar things. So this is here's our second part of the graph is completed. We have do background working of our graph. So I repeat here in first part of the graphs, we import our data files, then we adjust its structures dependent and independent variables, then we calculated the means and and then we calculated the mean and standard deviation, then we adjusted the levels of treatment, then we save our sessions. This is the first part of graph. In the second part of the graphs, we adjust our y-axis text and y-axis title size. We learned that how we can adjust y-axis title size and its sizes and text sizes. Then we learned that how we can adjust the legend, what width should be legend, key width, height of the legend, what should be that's and what should be position of the legends in our graphs. And then we see that's how we can adjust in the y labels. Our y labels are not complete when we enters our data on y-axis. So we can correct our full name of y-axis, what should be appear on the y-axis of the graphs. And we also write down the complete unit of that. And then we do the facet function. In facet functions, we have adjusted the label of facet, and then we can do facet what we want through which treatments year wise, variety wise, and also through uh, others we what we want we can do that. So face it, and then we face it strip size, its text size, its angle, its background. And then the last thing we do that, so we we can adjust the colors, what we want, color scheme should be displayed on our graphics. So we can adjust this through this or has different options, but we will use here Platy Brio functions. So we will take one strip and we will make our graphic. So we here complete the second part of our graphics. So now we are going to make graph, this bar graph. So you must do this background. You one time do all this graphic and save this graphic. You do not to repeat every time this time, and you can make different graphics in step 3. So your first and second session we will save these, and we will move toward the third session where we will make this graph. So this is the background working, and this is important one. So this is now graph is simple. You can see that we will make graph and we will choose all these our background things in a graph, and our graph will be displayed. So please repeat these 2 steps, so we will move toward the forward what we did in 2 parts of the graph. So anybody can please repeat, so all other thing people that understand. Mohit Ali, can you please repeat quickly these 2 part of the graphs?
The first part of the graph is uh, changing the orders of the structures. I mean the factors or the variables, and
Okay.
then using the theme function to adjust the y-axis and the x-axis. And after that, using the labs function for changing the names of the variables, the name that we want, the actual name that you want to use in the final graphs. With the 3 factors,
Okay.
we use the facet functions for giving the names and the size and adjusting the name of I mean the titles. And after that, we use
Okay.
we change the colors.
Okay.
And this is the last, changing the colors.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Freya Shaheen, if you are listening to me, can you repeat these 2 part of the graph? Dr. Freena Shaheen. Hello.
Sir, I couldn't see the screens. My net is not working properly.
Okay. Okay. Anyone, Dr.
I
Syed,
can't
other
see any
essentials,
screen.
can you please? Okay. 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 Okay, Dr. Sayed, Adil Hussain Shah Sahab, can you please repeat what we did up to that part of the graphics?
Yes, sir. First of all, we will set working directory, then the import the file, then we will do correct the structure, then we will calculate the mean and standard deviation, then we will adjust the x and y axis, and then ligand adjustment, then facet.
Okay, that's great. So anybody last, so we will move to the our final part of the graphics. So we have to, anybody, last person repeat this, so we will quickly move to the third part of the graph. So this is important. So you have to understand these concepts and these things, but you will practice and you will run this smoothly. So what you up to that stage, you know that's how you can control the parts of your graphics easily with these commands. How you can calculate your, you can adjust the y-axis, x-axis, legend, facets, color scheme. So how you can deal with this that. So. Okay, so now we are moving to our final parts. We have saved both first part of the graph and second part of the all these working is saved. So we are now moving toward the third part of our graph. So, okay. Now graph 3 is third part is appearing on your screen. No, it's simple thing. So we have, okay. Okay, screen is displaying on your system. Third part of the graph is showing on your screen. No, our software is showing on your screen. Hello.
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir. Yes, yes, sir.
Yes, doctor.
Okay. No. Okay. Okay, sir. Now you can see that our mind of the R software is safe. So what should I do here? First of all, can anybody tell me? I have deleted all things now or do not know our background workings, what we did, our background working. So what should I do first step in this final step?
We
What
we will
should be
load the
my
file.
first? Yes, you are right. Sahil Adil Hussain Shah sir. So we have to load, and you can see that the session one underscore, this is my first sessions. So you can see that's how session underscore G1. I save it with the G1 and session underscore G2. You can see that I have saved my two sessions with this. So you have to, no, so you do not worry with the previous working. So you do all that working one times and then you can load this working for your final graphic. So that's a background working. It's all safe. So you do not do, if you want to change anything in that, then you have to run all these things and then you have to load these steps. So these are the save sessions. So what Dr. Fahim said, what I am saying here, why it's important, session saving, Dr.
We
Fahim
have
sir.
yes. We will not do each and everything. So we have divided into parts in the session, and now we are going to report the session one and session two. That's name as G1 and G2.
Okay, that's yeah, Mohit Ali, you understand that things why session saving is very important.
Yes. We save our work, the work
Oh,
that we did previously, so we don't need to start from the beginning. So once we load the
yeah,
session that we can start our work.
yes, yeah. We can start. We do not. We if we are do two parts of the graphic in one day, and we are saying we will do that next day. So these are background working is safe. So you just have to load that workings, and you can move forward. Okay. Okay, that's I am going to load that. You can see in window 2 now files are appearing against. So you can see that in window 2 now all workings are has reloaded in for me. So that's all our workings are now active. So we can proceed with the hours first move to the graphic. So POS, I already said that this is the width of the bars. So you can what you want to width. So it's a good 0.9. So this is our basic step of the graphs. You can see ggplot is the functions. Then is the data. What's data we have made earlier files mean underscore Shahzad, and then is the aesthetics, what we want on our x-axis, what we want on our y-axis, and what we want in fill. So we want here on x-axis treatment and then SOD and then fill in varieties. So you can see that this is the basic step in bar plots in graphics in any graphic. So ggplot is the functions and data is equal to mean underscore Shahzad, aesthetics in x-axis, y-axis, and fill. These three things come out. So you can write these things and okay, now you can see that in screen graph is displaying you.
Yes, it's shown
Okay.
in the view. Yeah, it's in the
Oh,
view.
okay. Okay, good. In Windows 4, so you can see that. What I did at this first level, this is the layers to layers. So this is first layers I have made, where I in ggplot function mean underscore Shahzad, and then aesthetic x-axis, y-axis, and then fill. This is my first layer that I uh, do to or display me that things or has an x-axis, y-axis, and fields. Now you can see that I will add seconds things. So and that's a second layers. So this is a p underscore sod1. That's my first layers. POSD. This is my I made first layers of my graph. Now I am adding other thing with this. So I write on POS SOD2. You can see that's in second layers. And then this is my first layers POP underscore SOD. And plus then I want that theme underscore is background and black and white. I want that this theme is black and white. So it's showing some gray. So but I want that the theme should be black and white. And then I want geom underscore bar or width. As I adjusted POS earlier that it should be, and position underscore dog pause and stat identity. Stat identity is the position underscore dots is the functions, and this should be side by side. If I want that this graph should be side by side, and state identity is the graph should width should be same, and it bin size its width should be same. So stat is the identity. So I am going to add this layer. So see, I see what graph has made changes. Now in window one, let's see, it will be display shortly. Window 4, you will see the graph. These change bar show on your graph. Okay, display shortly on your screen. Okay. Graph is showing on your screen or not?
Not yet, sir.
Okay, it will show. Yes, now it's showing on your screen.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so you can see that in first steps, what we did is that in first time we give right we data mean underscore Shahzad. So in first step, we have to give x-axis, y-axis, and fill. And you see that the graph was blank. In the next step, if we have add the second layer. Yeah, you can add other thing with the plus sign. So you in second layers, you can see that we have given that first background was showing a gray type. So now you can see that the background is the black and white. And in the third step, we adjusted the width of in these bars. We adjusted 0.9. So this width should be 0.9. And then the position, this should be side by side. And a stat identity command is that these graphics should be on the same width of the bars. And this is the second layers. Now we have want to add third layers. The where's we want that and there should be error bar should be show on this graph. So we're going to add third layers on our graphics. So I think that screen is again slow. Yeah. So do not worry that this problem in IT problem comes out. So you important is the learning. You have to learn these basic steps in graphics.
Sir, kindly brief stat is equal to identity.
Yes, this is the width of the bars. So you want that your bars should be same width. So this is used at stat is equal to identity. This should be same identical. It means that these all should be same size. So we are here. Now we are adding some third layers. In first layers, we have x-axis, y-axis, and fill. And in the seconds, we uh, adjusted the background of the dots, and we adjusted the size of our bars, and and in third layers now we are going to show the error bars. So error bar should be appears on our graphs. So that's the p underscore sod2. This was the last layers we made. Now we can add other thing with the we can add geom underscore error bars. So you can see that's in third layers. So these are you can with the plus sign. I am showing you step by step. In next we will show that we will do all these thing in one, and all these things we will add up. So you have now we want to error bars. Error bars you said that this aesthetic brackets y minimum mean underscore Shahzad, and here you can use that we using that standard deviation file first. That's mean underscore Shahzad SOD minus SD underscore Shahzad. That's the standard deviation file. We will first make a mean file and then we standard deviation. So we will use here first with minus sign, and then we will choose its plus sign. So your error bar will be displayed on your y-axis. Y-axis maximum, y-axis minimum. You know that the mean error bars is the from mean position to maximum, and that's the minimum. So you can see that's the how. And then is the width of that's error bar. We say 0.9, but we want to say that this should be half of that. Was is over 2. So position this should be side by side. And now I will run that commands. So you can see that. Now error bar graph is showing on your screen or not. So in first steps, what we error bar graph. And it's held now. Okay. So I repeat again up to that the screen display on your system. In first step, we give our commands to all that's x-axis, y-axis, and fill. In second layers, we adjusted the width of the bars. So what should be the width of that bar, and what should be the positions, and what should be the size. And now you're seeing that the error bar is displaying on on your graph. So now you can see the, but it's a showing like some are in good shape because that's a 2 year data. So it's a combined things. So you will see it's on other when you we will make final graph. But see here it's just to show that it's showing now error bars. So we do in 3 layers. In first layers, what we do that's we give commands to our x-axis, our data set data underscore mean underscore Shahzad, and then we give a statics x-axis, y-axis, then fill commands. And in the next layers, we adjusted the width of the bars and position of the bars and identity. These should be the same. And in the third things, we give commands to our software that's the error bar should be displayed on our uh, graph. So this is the layers, and similarly you can add more layer. That here purpose is that how you can add different things with your graph. So with plus sign you can add what things, and in the last steps I show you that's a PO underscore SOD. This is the POSD third layers. Now I want the X label, seed and soil treatments and Y limits. Yes. Now you can see that in third layers, I P SOD3, I want to X label should be seed and soil treatment. Y limit should be 0 to 1.5, and Y label what labels I adjusted in a previous second part of the graph, and I adjusted SOD should be its full name should be displayed on my graph. In the present graph, you can see that only SOD is showing on that. SOD is that in present in my Excel file. But in ours, I want that my full name should be displayed on that. So here's, you can see that I will run that commands. So this graph will show, that's final graph will show on your screen. This is not final. Now this is the step-by-step layers. So my purpose is that you can with plus sign, you can add things, error bar, you can add error bars, width, you can adjust, and you can also give error bar and then Y labels, X labels, Y limits, and Y labels you can adjust here. So all these things layer by layers. So our work in layers by layer, first layer, two layer, three layers. So you can add all layers with your graphs, and you can make any line graph and other graphics in ours. So here is the just to keep in your mind that's our work in layers by layers. You can add layers in our softwares. So this is, now you can see that in y-axis full name is appears super oxides minute, and its units are displaying on y-axis, and all things, and you can see X label is also displaying error bars, error size, and you can make now these things and step by step in theirs. So now I will move, then I will repeat and will ask you. So that's a let's show that. Now I will show the final commands, and that's we are going to make the graph out today. Slow. So layers by layers you can add in all your graphs. Now you can see that this is the complete command of graph. That's it's I am showing that these are all layers. Up to that we work. 1 minute. This will show that. So these are the layers. I show there's one x-axis positions of the bars, and then is the error bars, X labels, Y labels. So you can see that up to Y labels, I show you that's layers. Yeah, this is the all layers here. Up to that I did, I above show you that's how you can add these layers. And then is the way I that's you can add that file here with the graph. So this is your graph, but now we are going to make it's more beautiful. That's how we can add this. We can add scale fill preview. Let I show that there this step BRPG last step I am going to do select this step. Now I will add s dot theme and s dot theme 2 and face it that's file that's I made earlier. Now I am adding these layers with the R software. These are this my graph. So my graph should be more beautiful. So you understand that these are the above layers and I now below are all the files that I made earlier. So I'm going to combine this file with this graph. Previous in a graph in part 2 that's I did working. So I am going to adjust join these files with the graph. So R will show me text side that I adjusted in file in graph part 2 legend positions, facet, all these things I will join here. So this is again slow, I think. So yeah, now you can see that's an s dot theme 1, s dot theme 2, facet, and facet dot t and labels. You can see that's you can see all these things are the I have joined these things. So I will run this command. So these are layers. I show you how you can make basic bar graph and how then you can join the all the files that we made earlier. Now you can see that R has made that graphic. After that, we have saved that backgrounds. It will show in window 4 shortly on your system. So now you can see that's what the graph, you can see that graph and now that graph is going to appear. You can now see that on your screen. That is the graph that's after that's background working. How you can see the quality of the graph. So I save this graph and I show you 1 minute. I should. That is the graph. That's no, yes, this is graph, final graph after combining all those files that we work in graph part 2. We have adjusted the x-axis, y-axis, and face it. All these when we combine these things, you can see the quality and all these things. You can also see the first graph, and now you can see that when we combine their background working, now you can see the quality of graphs. Yes, Mohit Ali, you understand anything? Can you please repeat?
Yes, sir.
Hello?
Yeah.
Yes, repeat please, so other people can understand that how this graph was made, what
Okay.
things we do.
Okay.
Okay,
After loading the session, we use the ggplot function. After
okay,
that, the data that you want to use, and then we map like the axis, the y-axis, and the x-axis. After that,
okay,
we use the geometric bar for the representation, and then we fill first
okay,
we fill the factor, and then we use the geom, and then we select bar,
okay,
and after that we
okay,
use the statics. We use we add layers. After adding the layers,
okay,
we use the labs for for giving the names of the y-axis and the x-axis, and
okay,
then we use the limb for adjusting the size of the bars,
okay,
and then the seam function for theme 1 and seam 2.
okay, yes, that's yeah, that's great. So that's these are the things, and so these are the background working, and this graph is showing on your screen. And when you make one graph, now it's life is easy. You just have to uh, paste all these command in notepad and just replace the name of your parameters. If you have so you have made one graph, so it's easy life for you to make other graphics. So you have to just the change the parameters name. You can paste all these things in notepad and you can replace the name of SOD with POD and with any other parameter. So one graph you have made working, you do all your working with one graph and then is you have copy paste. You have to just change the name of that parameter, replace with the other parameter. So you now can make all other parameters easily. So that's it. You have to just working with one parameters and other parameters will automatically will make other graph will automatically. You have to just change the name and R will do for you. Though you can see that this is the we have do with the one parameters and same like all other things are same. So this is other my parameter. So I just have the paste this thing in notepad and run the commands of other parameter. So you just it with run what's going on your screen. So you understand my there's you and then you have to paste all this material into notepad and replace the name of that parameters and your other parameter graph is ready to present. So this is this is the things. So what Dr. Fahim said, what I said that how you can make second graph after working first graph. Yes, anybody can. How can I make second? Okay. Okay, Moeed Ali, can you please tell me how can I make second graph, second parameter graph?
Okay, just using the same line of code that we use. We just change the parameters that you want to
Yes.
use for the second. So it's basically
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
same.
Yeah. All things will be the same. You just have to change that things. But one thing you have to modify. What will be that thing?
The
One
name of
thing you
the name
must
of the
have.
date.
No, when you replace this thing, then all thing will be replaced. But one thing will not be replaced. That way is the while limit. You will go to the summary function and see what this parameter has range. So you have to change y limit in the second, just one thing in the graph. All other things will automatically when you replace the name of that parameter. So you just have to change y limit and you can do this with the summary functions where it will show that what is the maximum limit of that graph. So 0 to 3 through the summary function. So I will run that second commands. I have changed that parameters. So now you can see that R is also this. So you have to change y limits but through summary functions and that will be changed. What is your maximum limits? And you will run that the second graph. And then we have discussed in our so you will run that second graph with you. Okay, so you have to just run and you can save it as a POD and others. So second graph will be ready for you. And now I in lesson 2 where we can combine two different graphics through PDF. We want that this graphics should be saved as in. So we can combine this graphic with the previous command I teach you earlier. That you can adjust height, width, one file, family size. You can also adjust this and we can run this command. So you can combine this and your graph will be ready. That graph. Now you can see that's the final graph that's I committed with you. That's before that lesson we will yes. Now this graph is ready for us. So this is all that graph working. So I repeat here. So that's we work in three sessions in when we are going to make this graph or any other graph. So you have to do small three session, and then in first session we have import our data files. We do structures. We have yes dependent and independent variables. Then we calculated the means and standard deviation of our all parameters. Then we save our when then we are also going to change our levels of our treatment. Then we have save sessions. That's our first part of the graph. In second part of the graphs, we see that we can adjust y-axis, text size, title size, and other things, and then we can adjust legend, key, width, height, and all these things. And we can adjust y label, full name of the y labels, and that's the correct units. Then we can adjust the facet things, facet title, facet background with facet with years wise, or we want with the variety wise, all things we wish we can make. But in this graph, we do the facet with the GR wise. And then we color schemes, so you can adjust what color want to make. We use a Platy scheme here, and we use the last line. I show that I will also put all these things in my instructor folders. So this then was the last part. We saved the second part of the graph, and in third part of the graphs, we say that some layers by layers we can build our graph with the plus sign. You make first layer, second layer, third layers, and you can add these add these graphs. And then at the end when you add, and you can add a theme, one theme to face it all color scheme that you can add with the graph, and your graph will makes and quality of the graph will be like that. So these are the step by step what R can do. So you will do practice. I am repeating that. Then you will get the confidence and you will make this graph like that and like this quality and more better quality when you practice. I think that your quality will be more better than me, but you will practice. Though these are the basic step of graphics, how R deal with the graphics. So these are the important steps. So anybody repeat this, so we will, I think that this session is enough for graphics. So tomorrow we will do statistical analysis, how R can do, how you can models, you can apply with this, how you can do with the statistical analysis in the R. I think for 2 days that's enough. But I try my best to teach you step by step, slowly. Some network and some other issues come also in the way of our learning. But don't be worried. But these all things are present in my in notes. You can see and read these notes and step by step follow all the graphics in our line graphic and others, and you can make. And I also share with the book of ggplot. That is very excellent book, and that's this can be you improve your graphic more quality of graphics. You can make more excellent way. So this I try to give you. Just I am in this course, I'm saying I am building your basic of R softwares, and that's nothing up to that lesson. You see that the nothing is impossible or not difficult. All these commands are available on my notes, on other blogs and other software. But you understand the basic, that's what component graph has and how you can control these components. So this is our lessons on graphics. Tomorrow we will at 8 p.m. So we will discuss statistical analysis. So anybody has questions in graphics? So
Sir, kindly brief POS 0.9 command.
yes, POS, I said that this is the size of bars. What you said, if you give you width, this is the width of bar. Sorry, this is width of bar. If you want to make more width. You can increase width of that. This is just POS. It's just a name. You can give any name to this. POS not is the any function. POS we as the width of the bars. If you want to increase the width of bar, you can write 1 and 2, and you can see that the bar width will be increases. That's just bar of the course. That's the themes. Yes. Anybody? Mohit Ali, can you, what you learned and graphics in R is difficult or easy? What you understand today lesson? Yes.
Actually, they are very easy when they are explained like step by step and one by one. So looking at the entire thing together, like the code looks difficult, but when you break it down one by one, it's very easy and you can understand what's really exactly going on and how we start like building the codes. So it is not that difficult anymore.
Yes,
Thank-
yes.
thanks,
Yeah.
thanks to you, you made everything like easy. So
Yeah, yeah, that's our training purpose is that's you we have to remove the fear of our in minds. So it's when you see the commands and that's a much layers, so you think that's a difficult. I could not understand it. But you when deep it's and you can see every command and every line. That's not difficult. That's easy. So hope you will practice these things, and that will makes more easy for you. So
Assalamu alaikum,
anybody
Dr. Saab.
have
Dr.
questions?
Nasser here, Dr. Saab.
Yes, yes,
Sorry
yes.
for being unable to comment or take part in the discussion because I'm in hospital. But I really enjoyed it because you repeat it with more elaboration and almost in 5 to 6 steps from working directory till to the
Yes.
last one theme and the GG plot. And believe me, it was now it seems a bit very easier and very comprehensive. So personally, I'm very thankful to you, Dr. Saab, to at least make us free from the fear that it's very difficult to use the R for graphics. With your instruction in a very convenient way, hopefully with more practice, we'll be able to use the software, especially the graph section, in a very convenient way. And waiting for tomorrow's session, especially the statistic analysis. Hope it will be also very enjoyable and very easy. Thank you, Dr. Saab, and thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Nasrullah, for your comments. Yes, I am to make it's easy, trying my best. I am able or not to am making this easy. That's also is easy. So you just have to understand basic of that thing. You just have to understand your data and other things. So Dr. Fahim, any your comments about graphics and things? Dr. Syed Adil Hussain Shah, sir, please
I
can you
have
comments on today's lessons? Okay,
Yes, sir.
okay, okay. What you feel the today lessons on graphics? So you what you learned from today lessons?
Yes, sir. You briefed it very clearly. We have learned very much about how we can make the graph. Now it is easy.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, that will be more easy when you practice. That's all things with your data. And so now you send it from one. You have to split in different sessions and that's combined. Okay, thank you very much for today's sessions. Tomorrow we will meet on statistical analysis in ours, how R operates and how you can deals with different models in ours in softwares. So thank you very much for all of you. We will see you tomorrow at